everyone, in this video we will cover the current affairs. Before we move ahead, let me inform you that these questions are part of our daily 20 MCQ series in GK Today's Academy Android application. So if you are looking for the text version of these questions and their explanations along with the interactive quiz, you may consider joining our daily 20 MCQ series in Academy Android application. So in this app course you get daily 20 MCQs, a fortnightly quiz, a monthly revision document and also category wise revision ebooks which are optimized for reading on your mobile itself. Apart from it, you are also able to access all archives of questions from January 2020 onwards. Please check our Telegram channel. The link is given in the description box. You can subscribe to it if you find it relevant. For hard copy books, you can visit our website gktbooks.com. Okay. So now without wasting any further time, let's get started.
Good morning everyone. Welcome back to GK Today. And today we'll be discussing most important MCQs for 10th of November 2021. Starting with very first question. What is the name of the website launched by Indian climate experts for assessing equity in climate action? So independent researchers from India have conceptualized and developed an online dashboard named as Climate Equity Monitor on global climate policy. And this dashboard provides an online dashboard for assessing equity in climate action, also inequalities in emission, then energy consumption across the world and climate policies of several countries. So basically it aims to monitor the performance of Annex 1 parties under the UNFCCC developed countries. Okay. Now apart from it, the Odisha government has recently announced full exemption of motor vehicle taxes and registration fees on electric vehicles in the state, and the exemption which was granted under the Odisha Motor Vehicles Taxation Act is applicable till 2025. So the incentives for the buyers, manufacturers, batteries and charging stations of electric vehicles were also extended under the Odisha Electric Vehicle Policy. Now apart from it, World Meteorological Organization has released a State of Global Climate 2021 report, and as per this report, the last 7 years have been the warmest on record. Also it highlighted that global sea level rise increased since 2013, reaching a new high in 2021. And the report attributed the record sea level rise to warming up and acidification of ocean waters. And the report was released in Geneva as the COP26 conference began in Glasgow. And not only this, WMO also launched Water and Climate Coalition report. Okay. Now apart from it, the latest greenhouse gas bulletin has been released by World Meteorological Organization, and as per this report, the increasing trend of greenhouse gas emissions continued in 2021 as well, and all the three major greenhouse gases, that is carbon dioxide, methane and nitrous oxide, recorded an increase in concentration in 2000 compared to the previous year. Now apart from it, NRDC has recently released its annual review of India's action on climate change, and as per this report, India is largely on track to meet its Paris Climate Agreement targets. And it said that India is to meet its target of reducing emissions by 33 to 35% of GDP by 2030 from 2005 levels, and achieve 40% of installed power capacity from non-fossil fuel by the year 2030. Okay. Question number 2. Strive is World Bank funded project being implemented by which union ministry? First of all, what does Strive stands for? It is Skills Strengthening for Industrial Value Enhancement. So this is a World Bank funded project approved in the year 2016 for a total cost of 2200 crore rupees. And the project aims to create awareness through industry clusters to address issues pertaining to micro, small and medium enterprises. So the Strive program was launched in Mangaluru through Canara Industries Association Industrial Cluster. And the participants will get National Apprenticeship Certificate from the Directorate General of Training on clearing the assessment and examination. So correct answer becomes option number A. Now apart from it, a National Steering Committee, that is NSC, has recently been formed for the implementation of Nipun Bharat Mission. And what does Nipun stands for? It is National Initiative for Proficiency in Reading with Understanding and Numeracy. So it will be chaired by Union Education Minister Dharmendra Pradhan, and Vice Chairman would be Annapurna Devi, who is Minister of State for Education. Also, our Union Ministry of Skill Development and Entrepreneurship has launched Phase 2 of MGNF, that is Mahatma Gandhi National Fellowship, and it is a 2-year-long fellowship that aims to create opportunities for youth to contribute to enhance skill development at the grassroots. Fine. Question number 3. Which Indian state is set to commence the census of Indus River dolphins? So Punjab is set to commence the census of the Indus River dolphin, and it is a freshwater dolphin that is found in river Beas. Basically, the Indus River dolphin is classified as endangered by the IUCN, that is International Union for the Conservation of Nature, and in 2007 the dolphins were discovered in Punjab's Harike Wildlife Sanctuary, and later Indus River dolphin was declared as the state aquatic animal of Punjab in the year 2019. Now apart from it, launched Operation Red Rose in the year 2020 to curb illicit liquor trading and to deal with excise related crimes. So recently it has been using precise tracking and monitoring systems like GPS technology to check illicit distillation and smuggling of liquor, which has led to rise in suspects booked for crime and convictions, and also rise in revenues. Also a few days back we have seen that Punjab has launched Innovation Mission Punjab last month, and it is a kind of public-private partnership mission that will bring in global investors and experts to catalyze the startups. And the mission will boost the growth potential of Punjab and create a thriving economy by means of generating jobs and inviting investment. Also recently, Union Labour and Employment Ministry has announced a collaboration with Microsoft India to launch Digi Saksham program, and now through this program 10 million active registered job seekers will be able to access the training on the National Career Service portal. Question number 4. Vilwadri cattle, which was seen in the news, was announced as genetically divergent in which state? So the native Vilwadri cattle of Thrissur, district of Kerala, is genetically divergent from the rest of the cattle population in the state. And the genetic diversity study was done by a group of scientists in the CASAGB, that is Center for Advanced Studies in Animal Genetics and Breeding. And these cattle, which are found in Palakkad Thrissur border, are humped like other indigenous cattle of the state, but they are bigger with longer horns. So what is the importance of indigenous breeds? They are disease resistant and they can also withstand high temperatures. Okay. Now apart from it, a group of entomologists have documented the odonate fauna in the state of Kerala for the very first time, and Kerala is home to 181 species of dragonflies and damsel flies. Also it nurtures 68 species that are endemic to the Western Ghats. So according to the study, the odonates of the Western Ghats stand at 207, of which 80 species are endemics. Now in the previous lecture we have seen that PAC, that is Public Affairs Center, has released the Public Affairs Index, and this year Kerala, Tamil Nadu and Telangana have taken the top 3 positions among the 18 larger states in governance performance, while Sikkim, Goa and Mizoram are the winners among the small states. On the other hand, Puducherry, Jammu Kashmir, Chandigarh topped among the union territories. So this index is based on scores secured by the states in governance performance across the pillars of equity, growth and sustainability. Fine. Question number 5. Who has been appointed as the new chairperson of the National Company Law Appellate Tribunal? So retired Supreme Court Judge Justice Ashok Bhushan has been appointed as the new chairman of NCLAT for 4 years or till he attains the age of 70 years. And the post was left vacant by the retirement of the then chairperson Justice S.J. Mukhopadhyay in March 2020. Also, the government appointed retired Chief Justice of Manipur High Court Justice Ramalingam Sudhakar as the chairperson of National Company Law Tribunal for a period of 5 years or till he attains the age of 67 years. Now, apart from it, Japanese Prime Minister Fumio Kishida coalition has recently secured a comfortable majority in parliamentary elections, and Kishida's LDP, that is Liberal Democratic Party, claimed 259 seats in the 465 member lower house, which will give an absolute stable majority and control over parliamentary committees. So Kishida became Japan's Prime Minister last month when his predecessor Yoshihide Suga resigned. Okay. Now, apart from it, in the previous lecture we have seen that Mr. Bibek Debroy is the new chairman of Prime Minister's Economic Advisory Council, and this council has been appointed for a period of 2 years, and the 3 new members to join this committee are: first is Rakesh Mohan, who is former RBI Deputy Governor. Second is T.T. Ram Mohan. He is a professor from IIM Ahmedabad. And third is Poonam Gupta, who is the Director General of NCAER. Okay. Now, apart from all these things, the Appointment Committee of Cabinet has reappointed Mr. Shakti Kant Das, who is the current Governor of RBI, for 3 more years. Fine. Question number 6. G. Sathiyan and Harmeet Desai, who were in the news recently, are associated with which sports? So recently they claimed the World Table Tennis Contender title in Tunis, Tunisia. And it was their first tour doubles title, both individually and together, and they have not played doubles together since the 2018 Commonwealth Games. And Sathiyan is world number 24 singles player, which is also the best rank any Indian has ever achieved, and Harmeet Desai is currently at 73rd rank. Correct answer is option number A. Now, apart from it, recently Pragnanandha has won Julius Baer Challengers Chess Tournament title, and he has defeated Christopher Yu, who belonged to America. Also recently, India has won SAFF Football Championship that was held in Male, and India has defeated the country Nepal in the finals. Also recently, China has beaten Japan to win the Uber Cup finals, and this is China's 15th Uber Cup title. And Indonesia won the Thomas Cup trophy for the very first time since 2002 after defeating China. Okay. Question number 7. Sardar Patel Leadership Center has been inaugurated at which place? So, Union Minister of State Personnel, Public Grievances, Pensions, Dr. Jitendra Singh dedicated Sardar Patel Leadership Center to the nation at LBSNAA, that is Lal Bahadur Shastri National Academy of Administration, Mussoorie. And this was inaugurated on the occasion of Rashtriya Ekta Divas, marking the birth anniversary of Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel. Correct answer is option number B. Now, apart from it, plogging, which was seen in the news recently, is associated with which field? It is actually an activity that combines fitness and cleanliness, in which participants collect litter while jogging. And the Fit India Plog Run is an annual nationwide event organized as part of Fit India movement, and it was held at Jawaharlal Nehru Stadium in New Delhi. So this event, which was attended by over 500 athletes and coaches, is led by Ripudaman Bebli, who is also known as Plogman of India. Now apart from it, the United Nations Security Council adopted a resolution on the protection of education in armed conflict named as Resolution 2601. And this resolution won the unanimous support of 15-member council. Also, it strongly condemns all violations of international law involving the recruitment and use of children by parties to armed conflict, their killing, sexual violence and abductions. Also, it condemns attacks against schools and hospitals as well as denial of humanitarian access by parties to armed conflict. Okay. Question number 8. When is the World Cities Day observed every year? So this day is observed globally on 31st of October every year to promote international community's interest in global urbanization. So this day was established in the year 2013 by the United Nations General Assembly in its first resolution, and the occasion was first celebrated in 2014. So this year theme was adapting cities for climate resilience. Now apart from it, World Polio Day is observed on 24th of October every year to raise awareness for polio vaccination and to eradicate polio. And the theme for this year was delivering on a promise. Fine. Now apart from it, we celebrate World Maritime Day on 30th of September, and this year theme was seafarers at the core of shipping's future. And International Day of Awareness on Food Loss and Waste Reduction is observed every year on 29th of September, and this year theme was stop food loss and waste for the people, for the planet. Okay. Question number 9. Which country launched the initiative for the Resilient Island States, that is IRIS, at COP26 summit? So India Prime Minister Narendra Modi launched IRIS for developing infrastructure of small island nations. Also, Mr. Modi said that the small island developing states, or SIDs, face the biggest threat from climate change. So India's space agency ISRO will build a special data window for them to provide information about cyclones, coral reef monitoring, coastline monitoring, etc. through satellites. Now apart from it, a glacier in Antarctica has been formally named Glasgow Glacier in honor of the city hosting the United Nations Climate Summit, which formally opened recently. And the 100 kilometers long body of ice, which has been experiencing rapid melting, was named by a team of researchers at the University of Leeds to mark the 26th Conference of Parties, that is COP26 of UNFCCC, that is United Nations Framework Convention on Climate Change. Now coming to last question, India jointly launched the Green Grids initiative, One Sun, One World, One Grid, with which country? So Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi and his United Kingdom's counterpart Boris Johnson jointly launched a new flagship international initiative at the COP26 World Leaders Summit. So this is aimed at accelerating the development of interconnected electricity grids across the continents, countries and communities. Also, it aims to improve energy access of the poor through mini grids and off-grid solutions. Okay. Now apart from it, the Indian government and the World Bank have signed a $40 million project to improve the quality of health services in the state of Meghalaya, named as Meghalaya Health System Strengthening Project. And this project aims to strengthen the state's capacity to handle future health emergencies, including the COVID-19 pandemic. And the project will also expand the design and coverage of the state's health insurance program. Now apart from it, Mazagon Dock Shipbuilders has delivered the first ship of Project 15B class Destroyer Yard 12704 Vishakhapatnam to the Indian Navy, and the ship is constructed using indigenous steel DMR 249A, and it is among the largest destroyers constructed in India. So basically it has an overall length of 164 meters and a displacement of over 7500 tons. Also it is armed with supersonic surface to surface BrahMos missiles and Barak 8 long range surface to air missiles. Okay. Also, a few days back we have seen that the Aerial Archaeological Mapping Explorer has been launched in UK to offer virtual flights over ancient landscapes, and now this digital tool will allow the users to see the landscapes from England's past. Now let's start with today's quiz. Here on the slide you can see 5 questions which have been taken from the past 2-3 days current affairs. Pause the video and try to solve each of these questions, and at the end of the lecture do not forget to share your scores in the comment section. So please be honest and do not cheat with yourself. So that's it for today. I hope you have liked the session. These were the important news and events from today, and we will meet again tomorrow with some more important current affairs. Till then, stay tuned. Thank you so much for watching, and please do not forget to subscribe to GK Today. With this, me Nuzhat Sana signing off.